So, my name is Yoram Drucker. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investing a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but a few biotech companies. My point of view when I'm checking the patent area or industry is how it creates the value or increase the value of the company. About 80% of the value of companies as of today is related to the IP. Okay? And as we are talking about the biotech industry, it is even more dramatic and even more important since the pharma industry, the biotech industry, does not appreciate things or knowledge or developments or even products that are not covered and not protected because they cannot make money of it. Very simple. So if someone wants to build a company, he needs to protect the IP. Saying that, as the Batami said, we don't need to say or to disclose everything. It's very important to keep the Coca-Cola recipe beside in order to have also things that if someone will break our patent or even if someone would like to mimic what we are doing by reverse engineering or bypassing our IP, still he will need us in the production process or other aspects of the IP that we are talking about. More than that, as of today, more and more public companies are publishing almost every new patents, new applications, new grants, patents that they got, because they understand the public, the audience, very appreciate this kind of achievement. And again, usually it creates a value increase in the public, and we as investors, we like to see our investment, getting better. When we are talking about what we are looking in the patent IP area, it is a little bit complicated because we are not looking for a specific thing. It's a holistic view of several things. Things that we have to think in advance, and things we have to do today, and things that we have to follow and make sure that they will be done in the future. So, first of all, we have to understand the environment. And we are talking about biotechnology. Biotechnology is very niche kind of biotechnology. It's a lot of small but very big different activities. And for example, let's say that we are dealing with a specific molecule. We need to understand what kind of environment this molecule is in. Let's say that we have a molecule for targeting cancer treatment. We need to see the competitors. We need to see the patient compliance aspects. We need to see who are the clients or the doctors that are going to refuse to implement our idea. In the end of the day, we have to bring a product to the market, and we have to understand the whole environment of the market. If we are going to make doctors have less patients, maybe they will not implement our solution. It has to be in a different aspects, fits to the environment of whatever we are developing. But I spoke about FTO, and we are doing it day to day. FTO has different levels. The simple FTO is just to know where we are standing. Meaning that let's say that I have a patent, I would like to understand what kind of head-to-head competition I have with my potential competitors. I would like to know what they are planning. I would like to know where I can put my patent on the table and have it granted. Or maybe should I do during the R&D a different path in order to kind of bypass the fence that was established by another company. This is very important in the very early stage of every company. Because if we don't know what are the obstacles, it will be very difficult to be able to get a granted patent. And even we will get a granted patent, it doesn't say we can operate it, because if it's under another patent, we don't have really freedom to operate. And this is very important, because if we are not doing it in the early stages, we might be in a situation where we spend tens of millions of dollars, years of hard work, and we can do nothing with what we develop without getting license from the other company. When we know the environment and we know where we are standing in the FTO aspects, we need to decide what are our IP goals. Meaning that if we had a discovery, you know, we could think that we will run, file a patent, hope it will be okay with all the discussions with the patent authorities, and that's it. But we have to think, as Patami said also, what we would like to achieve when we are filing the patent. And this leads us to our strategy. Strategy as a company. Patami said that it's hands to hands with the business development and the IP. There are different reasons why to file a patent. I can file a patent because I would like to develop a product, but maybe it will be a better idea to file a patent to block another competitor, so he will need to get a license for me of whatever he is developing. So I'm getting a kind of a free ride of what he is investing. So strategy is not only how we are filing or what we are going to file in the patent, but also what is the purpose of the patents, what we would like to achieve when we're filing this patent. And this is very important because it influences the dialogue we have with the patent lawyers. Okay, so we did the research about the environment, we did the FTO, we know what we want from ourselves, we know our strategy. There is also a strategy regarding the submission. As all of us know, there are a few stages. There is the provisional stage, then there is the PCT, and then it's country by country, the national phase. So there are times that in the provisional we would like to gather as much information we can, but if we found that in the environment research, the system or the ecosystem or the field that we are working on is booming and a lot of companies are filing patents day after day, maybe it will be better to file a half-cooked patent just to put the fruits on the ground. And then we have about a year to develop it and to gather more scientific evidence to support the patents. This can be done in the first year after the first patent, after the first filing. There are different strategies in this field, but I can elaborate it later on. But it's very important because we can make changes in this year while we have prior art. We are getting the time of the submission compared to other companies. Assuming we file the patent, we reach the PCT stage, we got good feedback from the patent lawyers, and we are now working country by country. From our experience, it's very, very important to make sure that we will not be surprised. And we are doing it by periodically check of the market by different hit words or search engines, just to make sure that we didn't miss anything. And miss anything means that a company that we didn't know, we didn't pay attention, filed a patent that is blocking us or may block us in the future, or maybe another company did another thing that gives us ideas to increase our patent, and so on. I just want to say regarding the strategy, from my experience, there are two main kind of patents. There is the umbrella, there is the specific. And when we are talking about startups, from our perspective, it's better to have in the first stage umbrella patent, a general patent describing the discovery and the different fields that this discovery is covering. But then as the development is progressing, it's very, very important to start and have much more specific patents and increase the tree of the patent portfolio. It's very important to have strong patents, and as it's more specific, it will be more strong. But during the development period, it is very important to have the umbrella patent blocking other companies to compete us head to head. When we are talking about investment in the startup companies, and this is what we're doing, it's not only important to think about the IP and the strategy and so on. It's also very important to understand the vision, where the company is looking to be 10 years from now. Because in the end of the day, the research or the development we are doing needs to meet the business plan and the goals or the targets that the company is looking to meet. And it's also very important to define in the beginning if we are looking to develop a product A to Z, or we are looking to license it out as we're moving forward. All of us know that to develop a drug costs hundreds of millions of dollars. And although we are very smart, all of us, we are very small. So we have to think about it also when we are finding the patents, because it may influence our ability to license out the technology. As much as we have more specific patents, down the road it will be easier for us to license it out per indication. So again, to have umbrella covering, blocking the area, and then much more specific patents to have it to specific areas. It's very difficult to assess the valuation of patents in startups, since usually they are in provisional stage, maybe in the PCT, but that's it. And we don't know actually what will be, what are the chances that those patents are going to be granted, and what are the claims that are going to be granted. And when we are doing valuation of a patent, beside all the research and strategy and understanding the company and so on, it's very important to know who we are working with. Because creating a patent, building it, beside of the hard work that need to be done, people have to be devoted for that and go sleep, eat, drive, think about the challenges, how to bypass them, how to overcome them, and then to take it forward. So when we are investing, we're investing in the IP, in the patents, and so on, but in the end of the day, we're making our decision because we're investing in people. And I'm saying that because we're talking about numbers and IP and so on, and at the end of the day, all of us are in the biotech industry, and we understand that the most valuable thing is not the outcome, it's who is making the outcome. Those are